I guess it's not, no, I don't know, it's like I tell Amazon here to give you guys an anime review. This is basically episode 1, basically a review based off this episode that's called There's No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover Unless. So that's the title of the video. But yeah. So what is this anime Space Patrol it's all about? Well, predictably, to be honest with you, this anime is all about. It's all about Mai and also about Mai and Rinku. They both have like a relationship with each other, and Rinku don't want to be in a relationship because Mai really wants to, because she really likes Rinku, because she thinks that she's cute, she's pretty, beautiful, or whatever you want to say how she really actually is, and basically stuff, and that's just basically what basically really actually is. Now, some people will probably say this is probably a lesbian, basically kind of like an anime. It's kind of similar, basically kind of like that. I really don't see it really basically being really that way, unless if it were to basically go to, extreme fan service, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean when it comes to other different fan service. I'm not gonna say if you know what I mean. Trust me. But I think this anime is very interesting. It's very interesting to watch. I definitely do think that it really actually is, and I definitely do think that this anime is gonna be a really good potential. I don't see this anime being a very good possibility. Maybe running for maybe anime of the year. I really don't believe that really actually is. I think probably my chan. I definitely do think for her. I definitely do think for her. I definitely do think that she's probably going to be probably the animated girl of the year. I have a feeling that she really is. I think Rinku might be in that competition. I really don't think so. That she may be in that. Actually, no, best girl of the year. Excuse me, that's what I'm trying to say. Best girl of the year. But I don't see this anime is going to be like anime of the year. I really don't think that, because there's other animes that's basically in competition basically of this anime also too. But this anime has a lot of potential, and it really does. And I think this anime really does hit something very good. Really, actually, yes. Now, one thing I definitely do like with Rinku is basically that she doesn't want to rush into a relationship because she just wants to be friends. That's all she really wants to do, and stuff like that. Because if I was in that position, I would just basically just say like, yeah, that's something I don't want to do, because I don't want to put myself into myself basically. Basically just of that. That's just my opinion. That's what I definitely do think. I think Rinku should just basically just take her time and just not rush into it. But Mai really kind of wants to push the issue way too much. That's a problem when you're basically when you're trying to force someone like it's kind of like not like a forceful kind of situation, but it's kind of like is a desire, a want, basically what she really definitely do want. Now, one person will say, I will definitely say in the series, she's best girl basically in the series. I definitely do think that, no doubt about it. I think a lot of people would like her, because for one, she's cute, for one, two, she's beautiful, and three, she's a great figure, just the way that she really actually is. And basically, there's not really much to talk about in this episode. There's not really basically much, but some of the other characters, they seem kind of interesting also as well too. But I don't know how they're gonna play in the role with Rinku also as well too. Some of the other girls will probably may have some kind of personal connection with Rinku, because that may be really basically possibility really exists. Now, I want to get a little FYI just to let people know. That Mai is basically to, yeah, my phone's going off like crazy. I do apologize for that. Anyways, I personally want to say here is that her Mai's mom is basically she's very rich. She's a very rich woman. She really actually is. She's a model, and she really actually is. And when it comes to rich families and stuff like that, I would personally definitely say this in any way I possibly that I can, and I want people to really understand that. when it comes to a child being in a rich family, they want their kid to set very high standards for each other, and that's what they really want to do. And they want them to graduate. They want them to get a really good job and stuff like that. And especially her mom, based with her, is based on her mom. Based with her is based on that she pretty much wants. I think she pretty much wants my to be a very high standard basic kind of person. So what that personally means to me is that she expects a lot of great things for her to basically happen. So that really tells me like, yeah, she's gonna expect a lot of big things to really basically happen. When you have Rinku, based on the other hand, she's not really considered as just a rich girl. She's just basically just as a normal person, but she doesn't want to be pushed into situations that she doesn't really want to. Doesn't really want to. Now, I really am kind of concerned because when it comes to relationship between Mai and also Rinku, because I think Rinku would just basically that she is shy, but she's not very shy, but she's very outspoken about what she believes in and stuff like that. She really actually is. I definitely do see that, and basically the kind of person that she really actually is. But I think Rinku is basically that. I think that she really doesn't feel comfortable really enough that she really wants to be committed into a relationship. I would personally would just tell her, like, if you're not really that personal, basically really in it, then I would just say, like, yeah, just be friends, and just not just jump the gun and just think that, yeah, this is what I really want to do. And I would just personally just say, just take your time. That's all I would basically say. I would say this to anybody. Yeah, just take your time. Don't try and rush. Don't try and rush into it, because if you rush into it, that's how you're gonna hurt each other, and then you may not be able to trust anybody. And let me just also say this as well too, because I think this is Rinku basically first time to really actually to have somebody that really confessed to her that she loves her and stuff like that. So I think that is something I think Rinku really should, basically in my own shoes, basically to me is that I would not basically rush into a situation and stuff, because if you rush into a situation, it's going to lead on to major problems, and it's not a really good thing to really basically happen. And I'm not just speaking just for the anime, I'm speaking for myself. I'm speaking for others also as well too. If you guys are going to a really bad relationship or anything like that, try and work it out. In my case, I try to do whatever I can. I give her many chances. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But that's just me. That's just personally just me. But I would personally definitely say, like, if I feel like that someone doesn't trust me or anything like that, if I feel like that someone really doesn't, then there's no point of me just doing that. I'm just gonna leave it just basically just like that, because I just don't want to have somebody. I want to have somebody who really trusts me and who appreciates who I really am. That's what I think that Rinku really definitely really wants. Definitely really wants. But I think that she really wants to stay as friends, but she doesn't really want to be pushed into the corner where she really needs to do. Now there almost was a kiss scene. Quite surprised it really didn't happen, which that is a good thing to me, because I just don't think that would be basically a forceful kind of a situation. But I think it's really pushing the issue way too much, but she needs to relax and needs to really to understand how Rika really actually feels, because if she really keeps doing it, she's going to end up hurting herself, and then she's probably going to end up regretting it into the future. Now, I would personally say here, this is my opinion, and I just would personally want to say this: whoever that you're in love with, okay. If you're in love with a guy, you're in love with a guy. If you're in love with a girl, you're in love with a girl. If you're a girl, you're in love with a guy. If you're a guy, you're in love with a girl. If you're a guy, you're in love with a guy, or you're a girl, in love with a girl. It doesn't really matter. It's that's just how people definitely do like. That's their kind of different type of basically kind of person that they definitely do like. It's not just because by the looks, it's by the personality, or maybe they probably will say it's by the looks, or or whatever that may be, or something like that. But I definitely do think that this episode was very good. Like I said before, if I was Rinku in her shoes, I would just say like, yeah, I just want to be friends. I don't want to push the issue way too much because it feels like it's a forceful kind of situation and basically stuff like that. Because I think Rinku will probably end up getting hurt, basically in the feelings of emotions. In a way, I definitely do think so. But yeah, anyways, yeah, that's my opinion. That's definitely what I definitely do think. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys disagree with me? What you guys thoughts about Rinku? I think that she's personally one of my favorites because I kind of relate to her because that's just how I feel. That's just my opinion. That's what I definitely think. What are you guys' thoughts about the other characters? What are you guys' thoughts about Mai also as well too? Basically being best girl based in this series. But yeah, anyways, this is the next series. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Hope you have a lovely day. Don't forget to subscribe. Please consider subscribing. Please hit the like button. Give me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down. Doesn't matter to me. And please leave me comments below. Anyways, I love you guys. Take care. Hope you have a lovely day. Take care. God bless. Remember, I love you guys. Please safe and remember, stay blessed. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.